And welcome back to DG Trades. My apologies for not putting a video out for a while. I gotta keep motivated to keep content current here. We're tracking AMP, and I'm going to give you my opinions. Of course, this is not financial advice. Seek an own advisor, blah, 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 blah. Don't listen to me. There's my disclaimer. So let's look to see what's actually happened since we saw the original formation of a wedge that a symmetrical wedge that I thought very interesting here that's been forming for a very long time. The bottom pink line being the initial breakout support trend here. And then initially we were looking at the second pink line down from the top as the bearish trend. Now, what has happened most recently? Let us look to see where we are at. I've marked very important kind of newsworthy events. We had the Coinbase listing. We saw that pop all the way up to 12 cents. We saw the Cream FUD, which is fear, uncertainty, and doubt, with a platform called Cream, where some AMP got hacked, or somebody hacked into the Cream platform exchange and stole some AMP and some Ethereum. That really was no fault of AMP at all. It was just people thinking that AMP itself got hacked. It was not. We saw a huge sell-off, not too huge, but we saw, from 6 cents down to under 5. And then we were waiting for what was going to happen at the end of this wedge. Now, what I can see now after this breakout, you saw after it got out of that wedge, a big pop to 6, which was nice. And then we hit a lot of resistance. Now, when you look at AMP, and if you have Coinbase or any other exchange, and you see the amount of sell orders relative to buy orders, you can see sell orders are way outnumbering buy orders. However, even in the face of this, AMP has held steady ground. And my stop is still at like 0.037. I think I'm going to move it up. I think I'm going to get a little bit more aggressive. I'm going to move up my stop, probably just under 4 cents. I'm going to probably move it up at 0.038. So I'm moving my stop up, my stop loss up a little bit more. I would not like to see this go back down to 4, although that is very possible that might happen. I'm still holding. If you have a stop set, you have held this whole time and you have not gotten out of your positions. Congratulations to you for having that fortitude to hold into it. The tokenomics are not great on AMP, admittedly, but I think there's a lot of utility to this token. I've talked about it in the past. You can see prior videos. Again, please push that like button, get notifications, keep me motivated to give you guys technical analysis. But what I'm seeing now is that wedge, not so important. This triangle here, which is a descending triangle, a very large ascending triangle. If this can pop to the upside on this newest line that I've drawn here, the top line being the most recent bearish trend line, which I have drawn now due to the action on October 4th, where it popped to 6 cents and then went down. And you can even see that it popped to 6 cents to one of those bullish trend lines. You can see the wick going all the way up exactly to this trend line that I've drawn way from prior action. So you can see it hit 6, people sold at 6, and boom, drops back down again. And then here we are in this holding range, this holding range. It's running sideways while Bitcoin is having this amazing run, while Ethereum is having a nice little pop too, struggling at 3,800, seeing if it's going to hit 4,000. Bitcoin kind of with the news lately, having their own ETF finally after years and years wondering what's going to happen. We have the ETF out. I think that's very positive for crypto. There's a lot of positivity in crypto right now. Just be wary, keep focused on your stops. And what I think is what we're going off of now is this triangle here. Now, if we go back down to 4, I will be a little bit disappointed, but I'm still holding. And again, my stop is set lower, so I don't get put out of the position. But what I would like to see is starting to see some positivity out of AMP. I need to start seeing some positive upward movement. If I start seeing downward movement, I'm going to get a little upset. Of course, I'm still holding. But I want to start seeing something happen. And this isn't just AMP. This is other altcoins as well. So keep that in mind. Some coins out there like Cardano and others are really in this kind of flat line, kind of what the hell is going to happen mode. And I think we will start to see money cycle into the altcoins as soon as we have broke the all-time high of Bitcoin. As soon as we see that break, I think we'll start seeing some money filter down into some of these altcoins. We are now at 0.048. I have a position that is around 0.051, I believe. I have a dollar cost average at that point. And then, of course, this is what we look at. This is what we're looking at here, this triangle right now. So no more are we looking at this wedge that I thought was really important back here. That literally had a nice break on around October 4th, which was what I said. I said, hey, we're probably going to have some action to the upside on October 4th. We did. And boom, we had this sell-off, which is not a healthy candle. That is not a healthy candle to see that wick there and to see it finished low. You know, you can see other candles that have done the same thing where they have this huge wick above and they have this red here. And it's usually an indication of downward movement. So just be careful. We might get a test. The probability of it testing back to 4 is, I think, a little bit high right now. But again, like I said, we do have positive news coming out with the ETF on Bitcoin. And I think overall that will lift all boats. And I think it will happen with AMP. And hopefully we'll see another pop up and it tests 6 again. And then start to see some positive movement up. If it does get past 6, we will definitely have some very good movement to the upside. So I'm still holding AMP. I still think it has a lot of potential. I still think it has the ability to double, even though there's tons of orders at the 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 cents. And it's really from these people here who have been holding since June. If we can literally bust through all those orders, you're building a base. You're building a nice base here around the 5 cent level, 4 to 5 cent level. You're building nice support level. This is a very heavy area of support that we're currently in. We just need to start to see it inching up. Now, if you see on our indicators here, okay, and we're looking at the RSI. RSI is now set somewhere around 50, so it's around halfway up. Could potentially go down further. But on the MACD, if you look at the movement here, it's looking like it wants to budge up now. It looks like the blue line starts to want to see like some movement up. It would be nice to see this blue line breaking through the red line here, and we could finally see some positive momentum up. Again, I think it's wise to hold right now. I think it's wise to set your stop around the 0.036 to 0.038 area. If this is a coin that you really want to hold for the duration of it, set your stop a little bit lower so you don't get stopped out of your position. But trade very smart by putting in those stops and you will be protected. And that's how we trade here on this channel. Another coin I will be talking about hopefully this week for you guys is a coin called Terra. Very interested in the utility of Terra and its stable coin. And the dynamics and how they work off of one another. And personally think that in the $30 range, Terra is a pretty good value. And I think it's a very undervalued coin. I will talk about Terra. We will look at the technical analysis on Terra hopefully this week if you guys are down for that. Put some comments down below if you're interested in Terra, what you think about Terra, what you think about AMP. Would love to hear you guys. Would love to hear your opinions. But here we are, just so you can see this technical analysis for you. We are now working off of this triangle. And you know, again, we have a new bearish trend line, and it's the only bearish trend line left in its way. And it looks as if we're going to be tapping it sometime around November, end of October, beginning of November. And like I said, traditionally, the alt season from October through December is very good. So I'm not going to move out of this position unless I get stopped out. And I'm telling you right now, you know, like this is something I think is worth holding as long as the momentum and the movement is going the way that I want to see it. And we're all frustrated. We are all frustrated. Trust me. Those that are holding AMP, we've been waiting for a very long time, back since September 20th, back since even early September. You know, there's a lot of people holding the bag on this one. And you have to remember, there are plenty of people here who just want to get out of it. So we have to get through those orders as well. So there is some resistance ahead. And I want you guys to be wary of it. I want you guys to set your stops accordingly to how you are investing or trading in this. Just be very careful. Again, my opinion, not advice. But I really think, again, this is another very important area. We get through this triangle, we might just keep going sideways, but not very likely. You can see moves happen after the wedge. After this wedge, you can see a big pop up after the wedge. You can see this in terms of other wedges that have happened, either extreme moves up or down. If you're looking at this chart, you can see that's how it happens. But this 4 to 6 cent range, whew, what a fight here. This has just been back and forth and just stuck in this zone for so very long. And I really think that AMP creators, the people behind AMP, need to step up marketing. They need to actually get more out there in terms of, hey, this is what AMP does. This is what we're, this is why we think, this is why we think AMP is a good token. We need to have more talks on the token from the creators. You're trying to find AMP, and all you're seeing are guys like me giving technical analysis. None as good as me. Not as good as me. Just saying that. Yeah, a little ego there. Sorry about that, but that's just how I roll sometimes. But that's really all you're seeing. You're not seeing a lot of news. You're not seeing the creators get out there. Since I think there was a video back in July, maybe, was the last video on AMP. So we need a lot more marketing on this. We need a lot more kind of like a little bit more hype from the creators, and newsworthy events. And, people want to know, hey, this is a good coin. I'm holding on to this for XYZ. The people behind it really care. And we saw that they did. They had a tweet on their official AMP Twitter where they were basically, stepping up and saying, hey, a lot of people that were holding the original Flexa coin got screwed. Some people, not a lot. And, they didn't want them holding the bag on Flexa and getting screwed. So there was a vote put out in the community. What do you guys think we should do for people that were holding with Flexa coin that had really an issue with transactions going from Flexa over to AMP? And there were some issues on that transition. And they're trying to rectify it. They're trying to make it okay. That is, in my opinion, very, very ethical. It is a very positive thing. I like that they put the vote out to the community. That is the way you do it. That's how decentralized currency works. You don't have a de facto CEO who just says this is the way things are going to go and then say, hey, this is a decentralized currency. Everybody has the right to vote. But then on important matters, they step in and say, well, wait, this is what we're going to do. That's not really how decentralization should work. And I've seen it on other coins. I've seen it on plenty of other coins. One I'm holding that I'm not too happy about. And I might talk about that in the video. But like on AMP, they did it the right way. When I see decisions being made like that, that makes me feel much more confident about holding. So kudos to the people of AMP, the creators and the Flexa network. I really think that was a strong ethical move. And let's just keep watching. And if you guys like the content here, please push that like button. Any questions, I'll try to get to you guys. Thank you so much for watching here on DG Trades. More hopefully soon. I'll be talking about Terra. And thank you guys for all the new subscribers, for those who've been patient. I really appreciate you guys. Keep up that support. I will continue the content, and I will see you on the next vid.